Let's go international for a moment. The United States joined nearly 200 other countries in Glasgow for the United Nations Climate Change Conference. The summit resulted in the Glasgow Climate Pact, to which all participating countries, including the U.S., signed on. What do people need to know about this? What does this agreement do?
So this was called COP26, and that's fancy lingo for this is the 26th time that they've had a conference of the parties who signed the original climate change framework at the United Nations. So they get together once a year. The rules are that you can have a new climate agreement, the Glasgow Climate Pact, if everyone unanimously agrees. And so that means it's probably not very aggressive. It's probably not particularly binding because that's enough to drive just one party out of agreement. And so getting an agreement is really part of the kabuki, part of the play. You're going to get a new pact every year. What do they actually do? Well, some things that seem silly, but in my experience actually matter. They get together and talk. They hear what other people are worried about. They hear what they're doing. There's some genuine sharing of information. And if you're going to be, a President Xi in China, President Biden in the United States, and you're going to tiptoe up to a binding international agreement on any topic, you have to have developed a fair amount of confidence that you understand the other party. So there's a lot of sort of diplomacy and information building that goes on. That's probably more important than the actual pact, to say it. The pact itself says, okay, all you countries in the past have made commitments to reduce your emissions. Let's agree that we're going to renew our commitments, so no one's going to backslide, and add them up, see if it's enough. Oops, not enough. We need more emissions reductions. What can we commit to in addition? So there are new commitments at Glasgow that get enough emissions reductions that the scientists say you won't get more than 1.8, 2% centigrade temperature rise. And that's the goal. So now we have aspirational commitments with no binding way to enforce them from over 200 countries that stabilize temperatures in a range that people think is safer. So that's where we are. We saw some little side offshoots, a steel tariff deal between the U.S. and Europe that essentially says, okay, Europe, you can send your steel here without a tariff on it as long as it's green steel, cleaner than stuff that might come from China. So they're trying to roll into the trade world some climate considerations. And we saw an agreement to cap methane emissions. The U.S. had moved unilaterally, had a nice, Dan Bosch at AAF has a nice piece on the regs surrounding that. So if you're going to do something anyway, let's have a global agreement to do it. So we got that as well. So think of this as main thing is getting together. They did that. They renewed existing commitments, marginally added new ones, and now they're tiptoeing towards something that's enforceable.